But I'm going to show you one more technique real quick for making a fishnet without using the pattern in the event that you need a wider fishnet, or you need it a little more customized and you want to make your own. So I'm just going to drag my pattern fill layer that we were using down to the trash, and I'm going to do something totally different. I'm going to create a blank layer over top. I'm going to go down and get the line tool, which is U under the shortcut menu, and then if you don't already have it selected, you can hold shift and hit U until you end up with this line tool. I'm going to go up and set my pixel weight to 2 pixels for this image, which is a fairly small image. And I'm going to turn off my background so I can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to create my fishnet all on my own, which might sound really redundant and boring. If you are doing it line by line, it'd be very difficult to space it accurately. So I'm going to use an action for that. And if you're not familiar with actions, maybe this will be an introduction for you. If you have CS3, you'll see a little action button here. Otherwise, you might have actions up here on your tab somewhere, depending on the version of Photoshop you're using. And by default, you'll have a folder that says Default Actions. I've created another one that's called My Actions, and there's already some actions in there that I've used before, but I'm going to delete it out, make it blank for now. And what I'm going to do is just keep that dialog open. I'm going to hold my line tool and create a black line down this side just by clicking and dragging. I'm keeping it straight by holding the shift key. Now that I have that straight line, that's going to be the base for the rest of my fishnets that I'm going to create, and I'm going to use an action to replicate the creation of this line so that I don't have to do it over and over again. So what I'm going to do right now is, in the Actions palette, I'm going to select New Action, Create New Action, and I'm just going to name this Fishnet so I know what it is, and hit Record. Now when I hit Record, now it's recording everything I do from now on inside of Photoshop so that I can later go back and replay it. So I'm going to take this line that I've made, drag it down to New Layer, drop it, and that'll create a new line. Taking my Move tool now, I'll take this new line I've created and move it away from my old line slightly, about the distance I want my fishnet size to be. Now that I've done that, I'm going to stop my action, and you'll notice that it recorded the two things that I did, the duplication of the line and the moving of the current line. So now what I'm going to do is just go back, select that fishnet action, and here in the Actions palette I'm going to hit Play Selection, and what you'll notice is it just created a whole nother line. It duplicated the action that I recorded. And I'm just going to do this several times. I'm just going to keep doing this and start filling my screen with these fishnet lines. And you can click it as many times as you want. As a matter of fact, it might be more efficient for you to record an action where more lines were created, but just for our purposes, I'm going to do that. I've copied mine 47 times, so I now have 47 copies of my original line in my Layers palette. I'm going to select them all, holding down Shift, starting from the top and going to the bottom. Select them all, right click, and I'm going to Merge Layers. What that does is put all the lines into one layer. Now that I've done that, I have this great spaced, custom created line formation. I'm going to duplicate it by dragging it down to the new layer. You can also hit Control J for a shortcut. And I'm going to transform it by rotating. And I'm just going to hold down Shift so that it snaps to the correct angles and rotate it to the opposite of what I had already. So now you'll see I have this nice pattern that can be used for fishnets, and the same technique here can be used as was used with the pattern maker that I showed you in the first case. I'm going to select both these layers, again merge layers. They're now in together. I'll make my background layer visible. The one benefit to this is, well, there's several benefits, but one of the benefits is I don't need to put it on darken mode or multiply mode because there is no white to get rid of. So it's custom made lines, and I can make my own size. The line weight of the pixels per line and how far they're spaced is all custom made, and again you can go back through and warp it to fit your character as needed. But I hope this helps you out. It's probably a rarely used process, creating fishnets, but it's one that's really not too difficult, and it's a lot of fun to do. It might add a little pop to some images and to some outfits after the fact when you're in Photoshop editing them. So hope this helps you out.